Original post. www.reddit.com web link. Update. I want to begin by thanking everyone for their advice on my original post. There were some really constructive strategies and words of advice. I spoke with my boyfriend about my concerns and was honest with him that things he was telling me didn't all make sense. He was adamant he didn't know anything about the credit card or the apparent inquiries on his credit account about payday loans. My boyfriend is still refusing to open any fraud investigations against his family member and has said he will pay off the debt himself. But some other things came out during our conversation that he was hiding from me. Lying has been a big issue of his during our whole relationship. In the past I have forgiven him for his lies, but I can't keep forgiving the same issue every few months when he promises to change, but we're in the same spot every few months. And I'm not talking little lies, I'm talking big lies and even bigger lies to cover up those lies. I know I'm stupid for giving him the benefit of the doubt. So in saying this, my boyfriend is now my ex-boyfriend. When I spoke with my boyfriend about my concerns above, he ended up picking up his bag and walking out on me and drove away. That was the last time I've seen him in person. This is how this man dealt with an issue in our 5-year relationship. We haven't spoke much since, but I have definitely resigned to the fact my relationship is over. I think he is expecting me to forgive him like all the previous times. I have packed up his stuff and will return to him after my city comes out of our 6th lockdown. There is a good ending to this story though. I spoke with my mortgage broker and the housing developers. I can't afford the original townhouse I fell in love with alone, but a smaller townhouse that I also loved came available and I've been approved for this one. I paid my deposit 3 days before my birthday last month. I bought a house by myself. TLDR. I broke up with my lying boyfriend of 5 years and celebrated by buying my own house. Edit 1. Oh my gosh guys, this update has blown up like I never thought it would. I will try to get around to reading all the comments and messages I've received. Thank you so much for all the well wishes and congratulations. Alright, this is messy. Me and my ex-wife got married at 23, and had 3 kids. The 3 kids are 17, 15, and 14. I recently found out my ex-wife has been cheating on me for 3 years. Once I confronted her, she broke down, saying that I was never home, always working. BTW, I worked like that so she could be a stay-at-home mom. I raised my kids to know that cheating is one of the worst things in the world. If you no longer love someone, break up with them, don't cheat. Even if you have issues with the relationship, work it out or leave them. Now, before we sat them down, their mother begged me to not tell them she cheated. I told her that if they asked, I would not lie. She tried to dance around the whole reason for the divorce, citing adult issues. 14-year-old asked why we were getting a divorce, and I told him, flat out, she cheated on me for 3 years. The mother immediately burst out crying, and all the kids were incredibly angry with her. It's been 3 months and they still haven't spoken to her, saying she ruined their family and their lives, and that she's a cheater and a liar. She's been coming after me online saying that I'm a bastard and ruined her relationship with her kids. Ada? I met Will when I was 22. Will was 29, with 2 kids, and had newly been widowed. We had whirlwind courtship where he introduced me to the kids and got me involved in their lives very early. First few days after I met him, Will said really quickly he was sure I was the one, not only for himself but also for his kids. That we'd have an incredible, happy family life. We got married when I was 23, Will was 30, and his kids were 8 and 6. Our wedding ceremony also included me and the kids making promises to each other, which was Will's idea. Soon Will shoved all the childcare onto me. I wasn't a stay-at-home spouse, I worked full-time and always have. But he always had reasons for me to do the childcare, him being sore from doing a physical job, me being better at it since I babysat kids this age in the past and he never had. Or girl stuff for his daughter. Or cooking or anything. He always had some reason and it ended up always on me. He started playing video games and relaxing from getting home until bed, because he was tired and he was bringing in the money and keeping the roof over everyone's heads, though that wasn't really true. He said he deserved to relax. Then he went out with his friends or brought them back to drink beer and watch loud TV. He developed a major attitude with me, and encouraged same in the kids. They found it funny. He started openly disrespecting me and encouraged them to also. He was the ultimate fun dad and I got put in the role of the mean witch. Sometimes they all ganged up on me and mocked me. But also all expected me to serve them and constantly be jumping up to care for them. By the end of the first year I realized the marriage was a big mistake, but felt guilty leaving because of my promises to the kids. Another year went by and I realized that no matter how I tried, and how I knew they were only kids and I didn't really blame them, I genuinely hated both of the kids. And I could not lie to myself anymore and pretend that I loved them. I did not, and I never would. One day I just walked out, packed up everything of mine and moved out while nobody was at home. I left a note explaining it wasn't working and saying goodbye. That was the end. Cue shitstorm from my ex and a bitter divorce, but we both walked away with what we went into the marriage with, not much for either of us. I had never legally adopted the kids so I had no rights or responsibilities about them and I never reached out to any of them again. Honestly, I was overjoyed to be rid of all of them. 15 years have gone by and that seems like a lifetime ago, or another person's life, but I'm still in my 30s. I was recently shocked to get a message from Tamara, Will's daughter, now 25. Tamara said I betrayed and traumatized her for life for abandoning them after my promises to them. She said I had a responsibility to never leave no matter what. I know she remembers the horrible way she treated me though. My wife and I struggled with infertility for years. We're still trying more options but we're beginning to lose hope. I have a 16-year-old niece that is like a daughter and a friend to me. Considering I'm doing well financially, I've decided to take care of her education and start college funds so she could attend a college of her choice. My brother and his wife, my niece's stepmom, are of course aware of that and they appreciate it very much. They always talk about what a generous, loving uncle I am unlike my younger brother. I've been dealing with a series of unusual, unexplainable events like receiving texts at work from someone pretending to be my wife informing me of some big news like her being pregnant. Or finding mysterious envelopes in my car when I'm at my parents' and the envelopes contained letters from someone also pretending to be my wife and again telling me she was pregnant. My wife and I had no idea who's been playing us like that. We knew it was someone close and had many that made our suspect list including my bill. Last week I was visiting my brother's house and my car was parked in their driveway. I was sitting with my brother and Sil but my niece left for a few minutes then returned. I finished my coffee and said goodbye and left. While I was approaching my car I noticed a sign on the windshield. I took a look and the sign read "I'm pregnant" written largely. I was confused because I knew no one from this neighborhood and suspected someone who knew me did it. I called my wife and she again said this was false news. I took the sign and went back to my brother's house to help figure this out. He said someone must have left it on the wrong car but I explained it happened before. He just shrugged but still pointed at the sign and said the writing looked similar to my niece's writing style. My brother told her to stop but I called my niece to come downstairs and asked her. She denied but got nervous and admitted leaving the sign on my windshield as well as leaving letters and texts pretending to be my wife. But didn't have ill intent, just did it for laughs. I blew up telling her she was out of line to think mocking mine and my wife's suffering and playing us was for months was funny. I said I was mad. I was disappointed and won't ever be looking at her the same. I informed her, my brother and Sil that I officially cancel the college fund I started for her due to her cruelty and disrespect for us. She broke down saying she meant no harm or disrespect and was just messing with, teasing me. My brother said I can't actually make this decision based on small mistake my niece made. He said this is her future that I was giving up on and my decision will have a lasting impact. I cut the conversation and left after he tried to talk me out of giving her this harsh punishment. But to me this was no punishment, just realizing she didn't deserve my hard-earned money. Brother said I exaggerated. He actually thinks punishing her by taking away electronics and having her do work around the house should be enough punishment, not canceling the fund I started for her. But I already told him canceling the fund was not a punishment but a reaction from me upon finding out what she's been doing for over 2 months. Also, she did apologize profoundly and said she regretted what she did but still insisted she didn't do it out of hate or ill intention. She loves my wife and my wife loves her. I'm the closest to her and the whole family from when she was younger, and she always says I'm like a second father to her. I, 25F, fucking hate wearing bras. They're uncomfortable, constricting, and expensive. With work from home, I spent the last year and a half basically never wearing a bra and got used to it. Quite frankly, my boobs are non-existent anyways. I recently started going to the gym again and started working out braless. I should note that up until now, no one has ever pointed out anything wrong with me not wearing a bra. However, in the middle of a set of squats, yes, mid-squat, a guy comes up to me, taps me on the shoulder to get my attention, and tells me that my nipples are poking through my shirt. I get really irritated because WTF is this guy staring at my nipples in the first place and then stopping me mid-set to inform me? I get really annoyed, try to finish my set, but then this fucker literally grabs the bar, as I ascend, and re-racks it for me. He claimed it looked like I was having trouble with the last rep, and that he had come over to make sure I could do it, then noticed my nipples. I'm really fucking pissed off at this point and told him I didn't need his help finishing my set, and why the fuck was he looking at my chest in the first place? He said he was going to spot me, but then noticed my chest and thought it'd be inappropriate. I pointed out that the safety bar was set, so even if I did fail the set, he wasn't needed. But he just insisted people at gyms look out for each other, and that going forward, I should probably wear a bra so other people wouldn't get uncomfortable, and that it may help me stay more balanced in my squats. I'm literally the only girl at the weights section of the gym at the moment, and other guys who were squatting and failed sets never have to worry about this shit. I've seen guys fail multiple sets in a row and no one ever rushes to their aid, but I have a very slight pause, and everyone thinks I need rescuing. So I'm now really annoyed and also kind of uncomfortable that this guy I've never spoken to in my life thinks he's helping me, and then he has the audacity to tell me how to dress. So I tell him, you have bigger boobs and nipples than I do. Maybe you should wear a bra so people won't get uncomfortable and you won't fail your squats. He then got really defensive, saying he was just trying to help, then called me a bitch. Honestly, I'm not sure if I overreacted, but I'm still kind of pissed off, so maybe that's clouding my judgment. Ada? Edit to add, I'm not sure if people think I'm walking around and it's extremely obvious my nipples are showing. I actually really hate constricting clothes. My t-shirt size is X small, but I wear size large to the gym, and pretty much everywhere lately, and you can't tell my stomach from my chest. My nipples might have been showing a little more while squatting because I was wearing a lifting belt. And #X200B,